gotta get your brain right if you're trying to make $1 million. If you ain't gonna do it for yourself, then do it for your mama. Only stay surrounded by them people if you know they solid. Elevate your hustle up today to double up your profit. Trying to learn some game, Xavier gon' talk about it. No Deanna, speak that shit that everybody vouching. Ain't no more excuses valid. Get up off the couch and get up in your bag. To your bank account, need an accountant.
Yo, welcome back to the greatest show on earth, the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast. I am your host, Xavier Miller, and today I got another live, crazy episode for y'all. But before we tap into it, I would like to advise all the listeners and the watchers to please subscribe, leave that 5-star rating, leave that review, do all those things, because like I said, I would greatly appreciate it. And getting right to the show, man, today I got a very dope and special guest. He's an options trader. He's going crazy in the game. His name is Chris Jackson. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Definitely. Appreciate you having me, man. Definitely. I'm happy to be here.
Definitely, man.
Happy to be here, man.
Let's get to it, bro. So for the people who this may be their first time seeing you or hearing about you, just mind giving them some brief background on yourself.
Yep. So Christopher Jackson, I'm right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm I currently work a full-time job and trade stock options.
Okay.
I have a stock option trading program. Okay. I'm a senior vice president for a Fortune 500 company, right? Okay. And during that time frame, I learned how to make money by duplicating myself, make money trading while working a full-time job. So that's one thing that, that I kind of focus on.
Okay. And what got you, because how long you been at your 9 to 5?
I mean, I've been working forever.
So forever, right?
Yeah, I've been working 9 to 5 since I was probably like 19.
Okay.
Right? But 19, 20.
So what got you into trading?
Realizing that no matter how hard I work, the pay still didn't match how much I work, right? So I could be making decent money, right? But the pay still didn't add up. Or I could be making decent money and I'm missing time out at home with the kids and everything. So I wanted to buy back my time. That was the main thing, buy back my time.
Buy back your time.
Yeah, buy back my time.
So you said, I'm gonna jump into trading.
So trading kind of happened crazy, right? So me and my wife, one Valentine's Day, we went down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Okay. So we down at the beach and we sitting at the bar having some drinks. And then this guy come in who works there. He said, hey, listen, I'm finna have a wine tasting. You want to be a part of it? So we went to the wine tasting, sat down, and this couple came down. It was him and like his entire family, right? And he said, we've been on vacation for 8 weeks. So I'm like, man, this man in Myrtle Beach in 8 weeks on vacation. So the first thing I said, I got to figure out what this man does, right? So I threw out, at the time I had a trucking company. So I threw out my trucking company. He didn't bite on the trucking company. Like, oh, okay. I told him I want you to do HVAC. He didn't bite on the HVAC thing at all. The couple we came with said, I want to learn about the stock market. When I tell you that man's eyes lit up, and for the next 3 hours, he was buying us shots and drinks and just telling us about the stock market. He said, I just made $1,000 on Tesla before I came down here. And I'm like, I don't know, right?
You're not buying it.
I don't know what you're talking about, right? But man, he said, listen, when you get home, give me a call. I'm going to show you how to set up your screen. So I called him when I got home. He set my screen up for me, showed me a few things, and threw me in the water and said, go swim. And that's what he did.
What?
It was crazy, bro. The best thing that ever happened to me, to tell you the truth.
That's crazy, bro. Mm-hmm. So when did you how long did it take you to start like turning a profit with it? Like how long was you like studying and all that?
Man, it took about a good 8 to 9, almost a year, right?
Right.
When I first started, I lost $62,000.
What?
$62,000 when I first started. Like win some, lose some, win some, lose some. But my losses outweighed my wins. So I might win 300-400, but I lose 1,000.
Why was you losing?
This is what I told myself, man. I said, I used to see this dude on YouTube with ads. Learn how to trade stock options. Learn how to trade stock options. I said, I would never pay anybody to teach me how to trade stock options. And that's why I lost, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Exactly.
I felt like I can go into this market and just figure it out on YouTube University. So I went to YouTube trying to figure it out, but I couldn't piece it together, man. And I just started losing.
Damn, you said 62.
62,000. I remember every time I have any type of event or webinar, I tell people, listen, put 62K in the chat. Because that was a tough number.
But but the good thing about it, like you said, you had a 9 to 5 and you kept your 9 to 5. Yeah. I think so many times people find out about trading, they have a little success with them trading, and they like, man, fuck my job, I'm out. I'm full time with it now.
Exactly.
And then they take an L like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no bounce back.
Ain't no bounce back. Where you go from
like
there?
Storm Leroy always say, man, he always say your job is your first business partner. You see what I'm saying? As long as I know my household expenses are taken care of and things of that nature, I'm willing to take these extra risks over here. You see what I'm saying? To make things happen. So it's just by the grace of God, man. All praise to the Most High, I was able to bounce back.
You bounced back from that. And but also touched on the job part. When you got like you said, you got your business or you trading on the side, you got your job. So now you just automatically got two incomes, and that's going
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And at the same time, I was doing a trucking company, so I had a trucking company and a dispatching company at the same time. So I had 2 trucks, hot shot, 40-foot hot shots, and I had a dispatching company. So I was just doing a whole lot at one time.
Speak on that for a second with trucking, because I hear so many things about the trucking industry. A lot of times it's nightmares that I hear from people, and then every now and then I hear like some good stories. So speak on your experience. What you think?
I'm gonna be honest with the trucking company. This is my honest opinion, right?
Okay.
So we had 2 40-foot hot shots, right? So they're not the 18-wheelers, they're the 40-foot hot shots. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But your profit margin is so slim.
Really?
Right? So slim. If a tire go bad, or if your driver get pulled over, if your driver's sick for 3 or 4 days, you're losing money. The hardest thing was keeping a good driver.
That's what I hear.
Keeping a good driver. And I was like, I'm a type of person, I don't want anyone else to be in control of my business. I need to be in control of my business. So when you're in a trucking company, the truck driver control your business. So when I started trading the stock options, really started getting the hang of it, I sold that truck, both of those trucks, sold the trailers and everything, man.
Really?
Got rid of it.
I'm out of it.
It was a headache.
Damn.
It was too much of a headache, man. You didn't know if you're going to wake up in the middle of the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, your driver broke down somewhere and got pulled over by the police and failed expect. It's just too much, man. It's too much.
And to be honest, that's what I hear 90% of the time.
Exactly.
Because at one point, that was something that I was thinking about getting into. And I kept having so many conversations. I'm like, I don't think I want to do this
Right.
no more. This sounds like nothing but a headache, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But let's talk about trading some more. So, what were the when you first started making money, like, was you being like risky, or is you like conservative with your strategy?
Nah, so when I first started, you got to think about coming from where I came from. It was like, okay, you try so many things to get right. So I sold vacuum cleaners, tried to sell knives, tried to do other things, right? Just to try to, I knew it was more than life than working this 9 to 5. So when I got into trade and I saw how much money you can make, I wanted to make $1 million the next day. That's my whole, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $100,000 the next day, not knowing it took me all these years just to even find out what trading was, right? So I remember one day I was trading, I made $4,000 in like 20 minutes. I'm trading live with people that at this time I really wasn't even teaching. I was just trading live with people in the area, and I say, listen, I'm up $4,000 in 25 minutes. I'm not selling. I want to make $10,000, right? Didn't sell. End of the day, lost $3,725, right? Because only thing I knew is I can make money. I didn't think about anything else, right? But that was my mindset at the time, because I realized I can make a whole bunch of money here, and I wanted it now, and I didn't want to wait on it. So that was my mindset.
That was your mindset.
Exactly.
So did that experience make you slowly kind of say, hey, I'm going a little too hard. Let me switch it up.
Oh yeah. It made me focus on risk management more, right?
Right.
My career, my full-time job, I'm focused on data management, risk analytics, like risk management. So I started looking at everything I do as a corporation. And when I realized looking at everything as a corporation, you got the money side that makes the money, right? But then behind all that money being made, there's a group called risk management. And what risk management is, they have risk and controls there. And those risk and controls will tell you when you're being too risky and what controls in place to stop you from being too risky. So I started breaking my trading down in that form, and then it became a beautiful thing for me.
That ties into something I hear a lot from traders. They say, like, one of the most important things is controlling your emotions.
Man, yeah.
When trading,
Definitely.
What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's the most important
thing?
Okay.
Trade, because I can teach you a strategy. And this may not be popular if I say this. People say, "Oh, they got this strategy, got this strategy." The strategy is great, right? You can use multiple strategies, but the end of the day is, if you can't control your emotions and your mindset, you're gonna lose every single time. If you're up $5,000, you're up $1,000, and you don't take your profits, you're going to end up losing, right? That's why there's certain things that I have in place that allows me to say, okay, Chris, XYZ, sell, take profit, don't get into a trade, all these things, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with that, because I remember the first time I ever traded, bro.
Okay.
It was a call option on Facebook. I'll never forget this. Yeah. I was at the airport. I was on my way to Vegas, I believe. I'm at the airport. I made my first call and whatever. I'm at the airport, walking through the airport. I made $900. It was so quick, bro. In my mind, what should have happened, my mind should have been like, wait, that just happened out the blue. Let me get my bread.
Exactly.
I made $900. I said, wait, I'm going to do 1,800. Let's go. I'm going to go 18 and I'm going to go 36. Next thing you know, bro, that shit dropped. I ended up making like $80.
Yep.
And I'm like, man,
and
just because
so mad.
I was so mad. I'm like, because I'm thinking like, man, I knew I should have sold when I had that 900, but
exactly.
my instant mindset went to, oh, it went up 900. Oh, it's gonna go up again. I'm gonna double this. Exactly. It's like I should have been more like good with where I'm at instead of just getting greedy. Like it's easy when it
happened. Like it really happens. You like, I'm up $1,000. I'm like, I'm gonna try to get a couple more. But then when you sit back and realize some people don't make $1,000 every 2 weeks.
Facts.
You just made $1,000 in 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just some things you got. Every trader will go through those exact same emotions. Like I have this thing called the psychology, the R&B psychology of trading.
Break it down.
Where I kind of show people when I first started trading, if I would have known this, I would have basically been like, okay, Chris, you're just going through this stage. So the R&B psychology of trading starts off with Tevin Campbell, right? Can we talk? Like in that video with Tevin Campbell, he saw a lady. He wanted to introduce himself to the lady. It was a beautiful thing, right? So the same way with trading. Everybody see this sparkly, shiny object. Oh, people talking about the stock market. You can make money in the stock market, hundreds, thousands of dollars, $500 a day, all these things, right? And it's like you just got to introduce yourself to the stock market. That's stage one. Stage two is Ed Sheeran, the song Perfect. In that video, the song Perfect, he took that lady on that first date, and it was like the perfect thing. He fell in love instantly, right? So that's the same thing when you're trading. You start taking somebody's course, you learn about the stock market, you're like, man, this thing is crazy. I can make all this money. It's beautiful. I love this stock market, right? That's stage two. Now, stage three is new edition, can you stand the rain? Because after you start trading, right, you're going through that process and you start trading, you winning some, you losing some, winning some, losing some, and you inconsistent, right? On Monday, you might make $200, $500, $1,000. And then come Tuesday, you lose $1,500. You like, crap. You see what I'm saying? So you have to go through that stage. Every trader will go through that stage, and that's stage three, new edition, can you stand the rain, right? And that's where most people kind of fall short, or if they make it through stage three and go to stage four is baby face. Every time I close my eyes, I thank the Lord that I got you. You're gonna wake up in the morning, every single morning, and you're gonna say, man, thank you, Father Yah, because I'm thankful for this stock market. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because you realize you can wake up every single morning and go in there and make money. Right? So those are the 4 stages of this trading psychology. I call it the R&B trading psychology that I use to tell people, listen, this is the things that you're about to experience. If you make it through stage 3, stage 4 means that's your personal ATM machine. You're going to start calling it babyface.
Woo! Hey, I love that analogy right there. That's hard, bro. And you're right. Most people, from people that I've known and talked to, they don't make it past. As soon as they go through the rain, it's like, man, fuck this right, trades, exactly. Bro. This ain't my speed no more. Like I'm taking too many L's.
Exactly.
But I like now that we having this conversation, it's making me think like, or realize that this is why it's so important for a lot of people that do start traders to have that other source of income. Because if you having those inconsistent time periods, if you got something else that's stable, it's going to balance it out. Instead of you just solely depending on trading because you just started trading. It's like, who knows? You might be in a relationship, might have a family. Yep. They can't completely rely on you throughout this inconsistent phase because bills still got to be paid at the end of the day.
Got to.
Yeah, right. So that's let me ask you this. How long do you think because it might be different for everybody, but for the average person, how long do you think it takes for someone to become a competent trader?
I tell people in 6 to 12 months you can change your life, right?
6 to 12
and the
months.
reason why I say 6 to 12 months is because you have to. It depends on the person. You have to be willing to put your best foot forth and jump into it because the stock market is going to take over your life. Like when I say your whole mind, your whole thought process, everything that you want to do throughout the day is going to be focused on the stock market. You're going to be walking your kids or playing with your kids. You're going to be thinking about Apple, Spot, QQQ. Because once you see what you can do, it's going to just take over your life. But if you actually go there and say, I'm going to learn what I need to do to get this and understand the story. Like I break the whole stock market down into a love story. That's how I break it down using R&B music. I do the technical analysis and all that stuff and give you all the technical words, but I break it down in the simplest form, focus strictly on R&B music and love. Right, and that's kind of how I break it down. But 6 to 12 months, you can change your life if you actually put the work in.
And how when you say put the work in, like what does that look like? How many hours is that on a day-to-day for somebody?
And it's not too much, right? Like you can actually go back and back test the market, and that's the beautiful thing about it. You can say, okay, today is Monday, and you get off work at 5 o'clock. Get your kids. feed them, get them, put them in bed, and go open up your laptop and go back and see what the market did for that particular day, right?
Right.
And you kind of learn the story of the market because the market tells a story. So if you go back and just learn the story, because they tell the same stories over and over, like 5, 6, 7, 8 stories the market tell. If you learn which story is being told right now, you can make money off of it. So you just got to you got to jump head first, and then you can see that time start to decrease how much you got to spend with it.
Break that down. You say the market tells a story. Like, what that mean?
Yeah.
For the person that does, when they hear you say that, they like, what does that even mean?
So I turn it into a love story.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, for example, this thing called support and resistance, right? Support is basically this floor. Like if you look down at the floor, that's support.
Right.
Right. We cannot fall down. Right. So if I see that a stock is bouncing off of support, and will not break, I can relate that to a relationship in my marriage, right? So if my wife comes home and she had a rough day at work, okay, and she's on the breaking point of like, I just can't do this, and she just bouncing off of it, she can't do it. I'm her support system. If I'm her support system, the longer she talks to me, the more confidence, the more I'm going to build her back up and take her to that place she needs to be. So that's the same thing as support. The more you bounce on support, the longer you bounce on support, that means it's just getting stronger and stronger to bounce and take off, go up, right? But if my wife come home, talk to me about this job and all this stuff she hated, and I say quit.
Not giving her nothing.
And not giving her nothing. Right. I'm over here doing whatever I'm doing, not paying her no attention. What is she going to do? She's going to fall because she don't have any support right there. So just situations like that, that's like a love story. You got to understand, how long have I been at this support level? How long have I been in this demand zone? You see what I'm saying? And things of that nature.
Man, the trading is like one of the most interesting skill sets to me because I've seen it happen. It can literally change anybody's life but a lot of times people think, like you said, I found out about trading on Monday. I want to be a millionaire by Wednesday.
Right.
Like most people, especially in this time with so much, everybody wants instant gratification, so they want things so quickly because they can see somebody like you online, not knowing you've been in it for years. See somebody else online, like, man, I want their results. I want Chris results, and I just started trading. It's like, yo, slow down, take the time to just learn, study. You know what I'm saying? But most people don't want to do that, and that's the reason why a lot of people fall when it comes to trading, in my opinion.
Yep, no, I agree 100%. That instant gratification is everything, and it's realized like it took you, say if you're 40 years old, I mean, it took you 40 years to find out about trading. You're not going to get rich overnight, but you can do this for the rest of your life. You can pay all your household expenses with trading for the rest of your life once you learn how to do it.
And what I like about your story, because you said you're 38. 37?
I think I'm 36 or 37. Well, I was born in 86, man. Whatever that math is, I think I'm 36 right now, I think.
Yeah, 36, 30, whatever, depending on your birth month and all that. But so with that being said, you started trading, 5 years ago?
Like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So
going on 4 right now.
So let's say you started at 32.
Yep.
Like, what I like about the story is a lot of times people that's younger than 30, younger than 25, they expect that to have life all figured out, to have all the financial stability in the world.
No.
Like, you started something at 32 years old, and it completely changed your life. Like, that goes to show you that you don't need, I'm not saying just be a slouch in your 20s, but what I'm saying is you don't need to have every single thing figured out. You got so much more life to live. And talk about this for a second, just having a mentality in your 30s, because a lot of times when people hit 30, it's that complete just comfortable mindset. It's like, oh, I'm 30 now. I didn't live my life. Whatever happened, happened. Right. I ain't going up no more. It just is what it is. I give up on all the dreams I want. Talk about the mentality you had to be 32, having a family, and still say, nah, it's more than life. I could do more.
Yeah. I call it, me and my partner, we kind of coined this. I call it that chitlins mindset.
What's that?
Chitlins mindset. So when you think about chitlins, for example, right? You know, people love eating chitlins, but we know chitlins is the intestines of a pig, right? And there's some nasty stuff in there, right?
Disgusting.
So back in the old days, right, slavery days, they would throw the chitlins onto the ground or the intestines onto the ground, and then the slaves would go and get that as survival. They would go eat it, drain it, clean it, spice it up so it can taste good, as it was a survival method. And they got comfortable doing that. You see what I'm saying? Most people still have that chitlins mindset that, okay, I'm gonna just take whatever they give me, instead of saying, no, I deserve the best part of the animal. I want everything they eat in the household. I want to eat the same thing because I deserve to eat it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you lose that whole mindset of that, I'm just gonna accept what everybody get, what they throw out, and I'm gonna get the scraps, and say no, I want what everybody else got. Then you're gonna change your mindset. That's the kind of mindset I had. Like I literally, I was working for a job, and I was there for 9 years. I got a $6 raise in 9 years. $6 raise in 9 years. I started
over the whole 9 year period.
I started off making $11 and like 35 cents an hour, and then when I left, I was making $17 an hour. I quit there April 2015. Right, I walked into the house. Me and my fiance at the time, 8 months before I got married. You know the movie Boys in the Hood, when Cuban Jr. came in there swinging. I went in the house crying, swinging. And, I'm telling my fiance, I know I can't do this, right? And so I quit, and I stopped working there, and I got a job at Lowe's making $10.35 an hour. And right before I got married, by the grace of the Most High, I got a job making $40 an hour, right? But the thing about it was, if I would have stayed at that same position, this is 2015, I would have probably been making $20 an hour right now.
That's wild, bro.
It's crazy, man. But I was there for 9 years, so I had to get out of that spot and quit, and I'll praise the Most High from there.
That's so wild because that makes me think of a point. Like, I hate when I see people from like older generations talking about how y'all generation, y'all don't want to do this. We did this, X, Y, and Z. It's like, bro, 50 years ago, you could work at a factory, make $40,000 a year, and feed a family of 5.
Yes.
That you do that today, bro, you're pretty much homeless, bro. You can't really afford to make $12, $13 an hour these days. You can't do it. So it's like I understand many people's frustrations when they in those positions, and they like losing it mentally because the cost of living today for everything is so high. So if you have a job that's paying you under $20, under $15 an hour, you gonna go to phases mentally where you be like, yo, I'm going crazy. Like I can't do this no more. But a lot of older people, they like don't really understand that. Like I heard a story about a dude. He said how his grandfather worked at McDonald's, had 6 kids, wife didn't work in like the 60s or 70s or something, and fed the whole family. Right. And I'm like, yo, that's impossible today, bro. It's impossible. Right. So I definitely have a lot of empathy for people these days when I hear their situations like that, because I know like, yo, you've got to figure something out because the cost of living is just way too high. It will make you go crazy.
Exactly.
If you're not making a lot of money. And secondly, I want to touch on, because you said about deserving it. You spoke on deserving it for a second. I feel like one of the biggest problems with most people is they don't feel like they deserve things. So they not only that, when you don't feel like you deserve something, you necessarily don't work for it. Then when you don't get the results you want, you don't really trip on it. It's like, oh, I expected this is my standard. But like how I look at it, I know I deserve it because I put too much work in. So when I get something, I'm not shocked or surprised by it. I'm like, I expect this to happen because I know I deserve this. I expect nothing less. Every time something bad happens to me, I'm shocked. I'm like, damn, how'd that happen? You know what I'm saying? So that's just personally how I see things.
And it's crazy you say that. So I was working at Bank of America, right? And me and this guy, we both had contracts at Bank of America. And this is one thing that made me realize that what you just said, you deserve to be treated a certain way, or you deserve to have certain things. This one guy, he was his recruiter, he had been reaching out to his recruiter for about a week or so. He's like, man, I haven't gotten a call back. When I call, I demand him to call me right back. I'm thinking in my head, bro, I don't never talk to my recruiter. I'm just happy to be here.
Right.
And I went home that night and I just started sitting back and I realized it. I said, I'm happy to be here. This man over here said that if he called his recruiter, he demanded
a call.
You see what I'm saying? Because he's the reason they getting paid. And I thought about it. That's true. I shouldn't just be happy to have a piece of I shouldn't just be happy to have the chitlins. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I should demand that I get the best part of the animal, right? And when he said that, it's like
a switch.
It's a switch went off. It's like, yeah. He's
crazy.
right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that was crazy.
That is true, bro. I think when everybody, because I feel like everybody have a moment like that where you be like, wait, I deserve better. Like, I'm not put on this earth just just to get crumbs and eat scraps.
Exactly.
I deserve the most because that's what God put us all here for.
Exactly.
To live in abundance. And I deserve that.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna settle for less. But you not only do you gotta have that mentality, you gotta move and act in that too. Because you just can't have that mentality and just be sitting on your butt all day, being a couch potato, doing nothing.
Think it's gonna just come to you.
At that point, you don't deserve it
by
much.
No means.
You know what I'm saying? But if you working, you definitely deserve it. Let me ask you this though, if you mind sharing, because people love when I have traders on. They love you probably know what I'm about to ask. They love hearing this. What if, like I said, if you mind sharing, what's the most you made in a day trade?
The most I made in a day trade was like 14,000. It's not a crazy amazing number.
That's money, bro.
Right? You see what I'm saying? It's definitely money. And the reason why, because like I said, I have risk and controls in place. You see what I'm saying? So I know personally when I have, if I trade with $50,000, $60,000, of course I can possibly have $100,000 a day if the market go right, or $50,000 a day, right? But I don't, because I know my risk level. I know my risk tolerance, right? So my risk tolerance will not allow me to do that, because the more money I have in my account, the more contracts I want to buy, the more I'm willing to risk, and that's not good for the bottom line. Because my goal is this. It's not about what I do on February 3rd or February the 4th. It's about what happens on December 31st, 2023. What does my account balance say on that day? If I make $100,000 in one day, but then I come back here and lose $60,000 of it, trading over the next 3 months, that's up and down. I want to do like this. I want my account balance to go like that, slowly but surely move up. So that's why in the year 2023, I dedicated my whole trading year to people to let them know that you can start off trading with a small account. Like you can start off trading with $2,000, $3,000. You don't have to have $25,000 in your account. So I could have easily started off with $50,000 in my account this year, right? But I started off with a $2,000 account, and I wanted to show people that you can build your account up to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 starting with $2,000.
Really?
Yep. Dedicated my whole trading year to that.
That's So.
And documented on YouTube and everything.
No, I already know. So, if you mind sharing this also, just like a small nugget, like do you mind like sharing like a strategy you like to use or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, I got this thing called decision-making time, okay? So decision-making time is this. It's the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA, okay? Whenever they're right beside each other, they're sitting on top of each other. This is how I find high probability trades using a 1 hour time frame and a 15-minute time frame, right? Whenever they're sitting on top of each other, right beside each other, I call that dating. So I want you to think about two people dating, and that 9 and that 21 line is the man and the female or whatever, right? So they're dating, they're right beside each other, they're dating, they going doing Netflix and chill, going to the restaurants, eating. Your friend, oh, I love him, oh, I love her, they great, you know what I'm saying? You got the bubble guts in every time you see each other, right? So you're dating, and in this market basically is consolidating this moment. But I'm gonna ask you a question. In every relationship, someone always asks a question. Like, if you've been dating for so long, what one question that somebody always asks in a relationship?
What's the next step?
Booyah.
What's
the next step?
All right.
What are we? Where are we going? What are we doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the stock market comes in to say, what are we? What are we doing? It's two choices, right? If that 9 EMA goes up, we call it jagged edge. Meet me at the altar in your white dress. We're not getting the younger, we might as well do it. Let's get married. That means by calls, we going up, we getting married. Because when you're dating, the next step of relationship is what? You go up and get married, basically, right?
Get married, yep.
If that person says, what are we? Or the stock market says, what are we? And that 9 EMA goes down, we call it Chris Brown. It's never right time to say goodbye. But I got to make the first move, because you're going to start hating me. That means buy puts, because we're breaking up. It's a little bit more to it. If I can show it to you, but it's a little bit more to it. But that's how I break it down using a love story, using R&B music, and talking about your personal relationships. And that's how you can figure out a high probability trade on a 1 hour time frame.
I like that, bro, because it makes it simple. But what's for the people that's listening, and this might be their first time hearing these certain terms of vocabulary. What is an EMA when you say EMA?
So think about this. A 9 EMA is this. Think about Michael Jordan, right?
Right.
Michael Jordan has points per game. So game 1, he scores 30 points. Game 2, he scores 40, whatever. And out of his 9 games, he has an average of those 9 games. That 9 EMA is basically Michael Jordan's points per game average for those 9 games, and it's going to start to create a line. The line is going to automatically draw on your chart, whatever chart you're trading on, right?
Right.
So you think about now, Michael Jordan do 21 games. That 21 EMA is Michael Jordan's last 21 games, points per average, and you can see his scoring average for each game going up or down, and that's what the non-EMA and 21 EMA is.
See, like I said, I like when you break it down like that because it makes it simple and plain. A lot of times, because trading is complex.
It's complex.
It's a definitely complex strategy for people to understand. That's why so many people kind of shy away from it. They be like, man, I'm not too smart for that. But when you break it down like that, you make it very simple. Because at the end of the day, everybody loves some R&B.
Yeah, love it.
Everybody loves some R&B. So you break it down like this, like, okay, I see what you. I see where you're going with that. So. What do you think are the best brokerages to use when trading?
So I use TD Ameritrade.
Okay.
Right? I haven't had any problem with TD Ameritrade. I tell everybody stay away from Robinhood. If you got Robinhood, go ahead and delete, throw it away.
Why no? And why is that?
Because Robinhood, you can't. If you're going to be an actual trader, you need to be able to do technical analysis. In Robinhood, you can't do technical analysis. Technical analysis is basically when you break down the charts from the 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour time frame, whatever. Basically, just kind of do an educated prediction of what's potentially going to happen next. So Robinhood, if I'm not mistaken, does not allow you to do that.
And that's not the first time I heard that. A lot of people say they be like, man, get away from Robinhood.
Yeah, stay away from the Robinhood.
Don't mess with Robinhood. So talk about your trading group. I want you to talk about your trading group for a second.
Yep. So we I have a program, right? And our program is a year-long coaching program. And we meet 6 days a week, right?
Damn.
6 days a week we meet. We trade live almost every day of the week. We have coaching calls almost every day of the week. And the reason why I do this is because I know when I first started what I needed. I needed someone to talk to them days that I won. Or I needed someone to talk to them days that I lost. Right? Them days that I had to get out the house and go walk around the block just to cool down because I had lost. So I did something dumb trading. I needed somebody to talk to. So I had like my inner circle group and we trade together 6 days a week, man, and it's real dope. So that's the year-long coaching program. What I got coming up next, I have this Stock Option 101 Mastermind. So February 27th through March 3rd, I have a mastermind. It's a 5-day mastermind where we're going to trade live together. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know that I use on a day-to-day basis. Start trading.
Where is it going to be at?
It's going to be it's virtual.
Oh, virtual.
Everything virtual.
Okay.
Yep, virtual on Zoom. It's a 5-day mastermind. Man, when I say it's going to be dope, we got JT Automations, he gonna come through and be there. Myron Golden is gonna be there. Also, Mr. Phenomenal Dion is gonna be there.
Okay.
So it's gonna be kind of crazy, but it's gonna be real crazy. But the thing about it is, what you're gonna get from it, you're gonna learn how to go into that market, understand the story of the market by turning the market into a love story, and based off of your previous relationship that you done had with other people, right? And you're gonna turn that market into a love story, and you're gonna be able to look at this whole market based off of R&B music and a love story, and you're going to be able to make money off of it.
I love that, bro. But y'all listening and watching, make sure y'all definitely tap in. If trading is something that you got some interest in, you want to make you some money, tap in for sure. And I want to ask you this as well, because I know from probably when you first started trading to now, the economy has probably made a complete 180, especially during the Trump era. So talk about how is trading going right now when everything in the economy is pretty much down bad?
Yeah. So with stock options, the thing about stock options doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Because it's still moving.
Listen, I wake up every morning hoping the market crashing.
For real?
Like I want the market just to crash. Buy put cities, baby, right? But so in trading stock options, it doesn't matter if the market's going up, the market's going down. You can go, let's turn to CNBC and they say, the Dow Jones had the worst day ever. And there's people sitting over there tomorrow, I just had the best day ever. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter when you trade stock options. As long as you, and I keep saying this, as long as you understand the story of what's going on, you good.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about trading, because you can make money even on the bad days.
The bad days. Like the thing about it with COVID, people couldn't be 6 feet away, close to each other. They couldn't be. You had to be stuck in your house. But the stock market did the most powerful run that you will probably see in forever. It's crazy. You see what I'm saying? But trading is trading no matter what happened, recession, no recession, doesn't matter if we go in a recession. Trading is going to be there. You can make money as long as you understand the story.
Do you think, and this might be a silly question, but do you think this is regarding calls and puts, do you think one is easier than the other?
It all depends, right? Like when everything was going on with COVID, the market was just at a free fall, right? But that's not typical, right? But I would say right now, how the market is right now today, I would say calls are better.
Really?
The reason why I would say calls are better because now how the market is, when the market is going down, there's so many people that's buying in at lower prices. So when the market does go back up, it's a great thing, right? So when it's falling down, boom, it falls down. But then you may get stuck. You may get stuck in a bounce up, right? Somebody might buy a huge company may buy in, and boom, it bounced back up. And then if you didn't take your profit's gone. But right now, in calls, if the market feels like if people feel like the market is going up, it's just running up. Just run up, 3-4 day run up, right? As long as you're a part of it, as long as you understand, it's going to be good. So right now, I would say calls are probably the best thing to do if it's a call position. It's easier than puts, but I mean, both of them great.
Both of them great, huh?
Yeah.
How does someone, in your opinion, of course, how does someone determine what their risk tolerance should be? Like, a prime example, like if somebody starts trading with $5,000 or whatever, and this is all they got, they're like, I want to make some money. Should they be risking like $500, $1,000 or only five? Like, how do you determine like, okay, what should be my risk tolerance in this situation?
So this is what I always tell people: if you got $5,000 you want to trade with, when you first starting off, only start with 1,000. So you got 5,000 that you know you want to trade with. You take 4,000, put it over there somewhere. Don't touch it. You put 1,000 in the market, right? This especially when you're starting off. The reason why you do this is because people fail to realize trading is freaking emotional. I call them trade attacks, right? You sitting there, your heart beating, your heart pounding. So when you first get into your very first trade, everything you knew how to do, go press this button, you're going to forget about. Because your hands going to get sweaty, your heart going to start beating. You seeing your money go up, you up $100, next thing you down 200, you up 200. You seeing your money go up and down, you like, oh crap, what I need to do, right? So you want to get past that stage where you can get your nerves calm and you can kind of understand what's going on, right? But that's what I say starting off. But I have my own method, if I have a $5,000 account, how I would trade it throughout the day and things like that.
Okay, that makes sense. And you definitely right. It's definitely emotional, specifically you day trading.
Yeah.
Man, that's why when I was more active trading, I was just doing swings because the day trading, that stuff was making. I was about to go lose my hair, go crazy. Study watching it. I can't even go on the flight. I'm like, oh, my Wi-Fi not working. I need to check.
Right.
So swing made me personally just more comfortable.
Yep.
What you think? Are you a day trader or do you
I
like
do
swing?
all of them. I do all. Day trade, scalp, swing trade. I look for the setups, right? I will swing. I normally swing trade when I see a nice setup. When the story say, okay, it look like we about to make this move happen either to the upside or downside. I do a swing trade. But if I'm day trading, I try to trade about 2 hours a day.
Really?
But sometimes you get stuck in trades, right? You might get stuck in a trade and you gotta fight your way out of that trade. So it may take up a little bit more time. But for the most part, 2 hours a day. If I don't make it in 2 hours, I'm trying to just come back to it tomorrow.
And break down just for the people that's listening, they don't know when we say swing, scalp, and all that. Just break that down.
So a swing trade basically means you may enter in on Monday and you're gonna hold it overnight for at least one night. Now you can hold a swing trade for 3 months, 6 months, 2 years if you wanted to, right? But as long as you hold it for at least one night, right? A day trade, if you get in on Monday and you're gonna get out on Monday, okay? A scalp is when you get into the trade, you might be in that trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and then you out. Okay, so that's how you break down each one of them.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's I don't do day trading at all, bro. I go crazy day trading. It's like when I was trading, I was doing swings, and I usually like to do it for like at least a couple weeks.
Yeah,
because that just make me feel more like
it gives it time to do what it's gonna
do. I be feeling antsy when I don't want to constantly be on my phone watching. Right. That's just how I am. Like it make me go crazy. I might be busy doing something. Now I got this on my mind distracting me. So that's definitely one of the things I like to do. But I want to talk about because I know you mentioned having a 9 to 5 and doing this too, and I think it's so much power in that. Again, that's why I want to rehash on this topic, just because I'm a firm believer that the more incomes, this is common sense. The more incomes, the better. And you got something trading consistent too, and then you got your job is consistent too. So that's like, it's so much power in that. And like I said in the beginning, it's so many people I know that will leave their gig, bro, like immediately.
Right.
And then 6 months later, they like, damn, I regret that. I'm looking for a new job now.
Exactly.
It's like, man, why you do that in the first place, bro? So talk about how having both has helped or benefited your life and lifestyle.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's truly a blessing, right? Truly a blessing, because you think about it this way. For example, if you say somebody make $100,000 a year, right? So you got your $100,000 right here, and that $100,000 in that circle has always taken care of your mortgage, utilities, phone bill, daycare, car payment, all that stuff that $100,000 can take care of, right? But then you say, okay, I'm gonna start trading. I'm gonna learn how to trade. And now you come over here and start trading, and you make $25,000 in a year. Now you just took your income from $100,000 to $125,000 in 1 year. You see what I'm saying? But this $25,000 over here from trading didn't have to go to none of this stuff over here at your day-to-day living expenses, unless you wanted it to, right?
Just extras.
It's just extra sitting there. Now after year one, you make $25,000, $30,000, whatever you make, right? Or however it may fall out, right? The next year, now you trade with $25,000, $30,000. Now you make $100,000. Now your income went from, now you got $200,000, right? Now you really have $100,000 over here, $100,000 over here. Now you can ask your question. That's why they say options. Now you really have options. Yep. Do I really want to work this full-time job or do I not? But what you're going to realize is when you start making money over here trading stock options and making money from your full-time job, I call it duplicating yourself. What you're going to realize is your full-time job is not as bad as you think it is.
That's facts, bro.
The only reason your full-time job is bad now is because you don't like your full-time job because you need it.
Because you need it.
Exactly. It's you need it to take care of all of your living expenses. And now they have control over you. This is what I tell people. I tell people you got to start looking at yourself as a corporation. Okay? So look at yourself as a corporation. You got 24 shares of your day. 24 shares. Your body is 24 shares of a corporation. You give 8 shares to sleep, right? Some people don't do 8 hours, but say, for example, you're supposed to give 8 hours of sleep, right? To recharge yourself and all that good stuff, right? The next thing you do is you give 10 shares to a corporation because you work 8 hours, but you got to get up an hour early and you're going to be an hour in traffic trying to get home. The thing about it, now you only got, 6 shares left. 6 shares left of your day to commit to yourself to do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're a better person. But if you got kids, you got practice. So how many hours do you really have? Exactly. What everyone should be focused on is getting back those 10 shares. Because right now, those 10 shares control your corporation. They are the majority stakeholder in your corporation, those 10 shares. And you sold those 10 shares to that company, to that organization that you work for, and they told you how much they was going to pay you for those 10 shares. Oh, we're going to give you $100,000 for these 10 shares. So you tell me my 10 shares only valued at $100,000? How you put a value on me, right? So everyone should be trying to become the majority owner of those 10 shares. So you got to buy at least 6 of those shares back. How do you do that? Boom, you start trading stock options, and now you can start buying those 10 shares that you gave to that company. You can start buying those shares back. And that was my whole focus of trying to do that. That's why when I say I turned this stuff into a corporation, I understood that my job owned the majority of my shares, and trading stock options has allowed me to repurchase those shares back from my company, from that corporation, and now I'm in control of my own life.
Time freedom.
Time and freedom.
That's it. And when you spoke on that job part, that part is so deep because that is one thing that I believe many people don't understand because they never been to the point of financial stability, so they never been at a gig where it just feels different. Right. Because when you don't need to be at a job, the job don't feel the same because it's like if y'all start getting on my nerves too much, I could just leave. Exactly. And usually when you at that point, the job typically don't get on your nerves no more. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how it works. It works become a lot more peaceful. You just chilling. You get your job done, do your thing. You go home. When you waking up early in the morning, you ain't all groggy like, damn, I gotta go here. You just like, oh, it is what it is. I'm about to go to work. Exactly. Because you know, at the end of the day, I don't need this. I'm just doing this. This is just an addition, or this is just something that I want to do. Exactly. But once you need it, you have no money. You like, if I don't go to work, I ain't gonna eat. There's a different kind of resentment you're gonna have with that job because it's just like, man, I don't even want to be here, and y'all pissing me off. Yep, exactly.
So, exactly. Like every time somebody say something to you, just irk your nerves, right?
You like, man, what you say, I can't wait to get up out of here. So that's definitely like, you right, bro. Like most people, truly, I've been there myself. Yeah, that's how I'm speaking of because I've been in a position where I needed a job. And I hated it. And then the point when I didn't need it, it was like, oh, I don't even hate it. It's cool. Like,
it ain't that bad. Right. It's like, for example, I know for that time when I realized I didn't need a job, normally I'll be waking up like 3 a.m. to try to knock out these, I got the kids at home and all these things, right? I'm waking up at 3 a.m. to try to knock out these particular projects that's coming up for these meetings that's coming up. Man, next thing you know, when I realized I didn't need that job, I'm not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to do these PowerPoint presentations. I'm out to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. It's going to be done before the deadline, but I'm not about to bend over backwards when I don't have to.
No, bro. You broke that down, man. Because like you said, it comes down to time freedom at the end of the day.
That's it.
And when you got some more, you said about. I like that. You said about us like you just need at least 6 shares.
You need to buy 6 shares back.
You break stuff down real plain because I ain't never really heard nobody like put that into perspective like that. Mm-hmm. That's a very unique way of putting it. And I think a lot of times when people gonna hear it, they're gonna be like, "Damn, I never looked at life that way."
Yeah,
because you don't need because sometimes people think you need complete. They might feel like they need all 10 shares.
Right.
You don't necessarily. As long as you got a majority of it, majority of your time is free. Majority of the time you could do whatever you want to do. That's a good life for real.
And this is the thing about it. This is the missing piece that people fail to realize. When they give you $100,000 for those 10 shares, when you buy back 6 of them, your 4 shares are still valued at $100,000.
Now why is that? Break that down.
Because you signed a contract, right? that I'm gonna work for this company. They're gonna pay me $100,000, right? But when you start making more money, but you're actually giving them less time, but you're still fulfilling your obligations. Now you got more. You bought them 6 shares back. Now they got 4 shares and you valued at $100,000. You see what I'm saying? Them 4 shares are still there because you got a contract saying I'm going to pay you $100,000 no matter how many shares over here. You see what I'm saying? No matter if you give me 15 shares and take away some of your sleep hours, I'm still only paying you 100. Now you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning working, I still only got paid what they was going to pay me. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So now that I say I'm gonna sleep later and take away my shares, they still pay me the exact same thing, and I'm giving them less to myself.
That's fire, bro. That's fire, man. I want to make a pivot because to something I seen on one of your videos. I seen you talk about. Mm-hmm. You talked about how I think I don't remember if it was 2022 or 2021. You said you spent $100,000 just on mentorship.
Oh yeah, last year.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Yeah. So talk about why you did that and the importance of doing that, because oftentimes, like you said, when you first started doing options trading, you lost $60,000 in a year just because you think you know what you're doing, but you really don't. So just break that down on why you did that and how it benefited you.
So it was the scariest thing I ever done.
Really?
I'm being completely honest with you. Scariest thing I ever done, because I was literally about to give out $100,000 plus, honestly, right? Looking for expected return. But what I realized that I don't know everything. You see what I'm saying? And I realized if I could probably learn this information, but it's going to take me years. You see what I'm saying? But if I invest in people that I found credible, that I can trust, they can shorten my time frame.
Shorten it.
They can. When I say they can shorten your time frame, man, listen, they can shorten your time frame, and that's exactly what happened. The $100,000 I invested, that I probably received that. I probably got the $100,000 back in probably a month.
Really?
Yeah. Probably a month.
Just from the mentorship and the game, and
the game.
That's dope.
Month and a half tops probably, just from the game, and it's crazy. And all praise to the Most High. That's all I can say.
That's all you can say.
All praise to the Most High, man, because it's crazy when you think about it. Because coming up with how we grew up, how I grew up, you never ask anybody for anything. The only thing we used to ask somebody for, we used to go to my grandma used to my nana, send me down to Romo house, tell Romo I'm gonna give him $5 for gas to take me to town to get some groceries and wash my clothes. That's the only thing you ask. You didn't ask anybody. And especially in this culture, you don't ask somebody what they do for a living
at all.
You don't do that, right? And that's probably one of the things we mess up at as well. But when I realized I need to ask people for help, trading wise, things changed for me, because when I got my mentor trading, everything changed for me.
That's great. That is true, bro. And especially specifically in our community, you don't ask somebody what they do for a living. Mm-hmm. You don't ask somebody how much money they make.
Yep. None of that stuff.
And none of that stuff. And you definitely don't ask nobody for help.
Nope. You don't do it.
And that's one of the things that holds us back as a community, because we undervalue that somebody, you not asking for somebody for help is holding you back, because they may be willing to give you the help and they got the answers. Yep. So it's like, why not go to somebody that you know for a fact got the answers?
Exactly.
But you like, we being so prideful, we like, I'm not gonna ask him because I don't want him to feel like I need him or blah blah blah. I can figure it out. It's my business. Exactly. He ain't got nothing to do with this. I can figure this out on my own. It's like, hey, you might be necessarily figuring it out on your own, but how long is it gonna take you?
Exactly.
If you ask him for help, him or her for help, it may take you 5 years doing this on your own. You ask them for help, it might take you 5 months.
Exactly.
But we, you know what I'm saying? But we prideful like that.
Exactly. Trade stock options right now. If you was to come and say, hey, I want to learn how to trade stock options, and I say, okay, XYZ, and you say, okay, I'm going to go learn on my own. It's going to take you, it may take you a year and a half, 2 years to learn on your own. I'm going to take you straight to the things you need to focus on. And then, like I say, in 6 to 12 months, you're going to change your life. It's a possibility you can change your life.
No, facts. And it happens a lot.
Yep.
It happens a lot. But you got to be willing to, what's the word? I don't want to say humble yourself.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is. You got to be willing to say, okay, that person, he obviously knows something I don't know. She knows something I don't know. Am I going to sit and rest in this and be like, man, forget them and just start hating on them?
Yep.
Or am I going to humble myself and say,
right,
man, look, I come to you humbly and say, I just need some help, bro. I'm trying to change my situation.
Exactly.
I'm willing to do this or that's for help and go from there. But like I said, a lot of times in our community, it's the mindset of, we don't need no help. We're going to get it out the mud. Exactly. We're going to get out the mud, do it on our own.
Dumbest thing ever, man. Talk about it. It's the dumbest thing ever, but that's how we've been conditioned.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But that's why I say, man, right now we really and truly have the freedom. I tell everybody about Joshua, right? I tell people I am Joshua, right? And what that is if you look back in the back in those days, our great ancestor cried out to the Most High, asking for help. Like asking for help, praying for help, right? And then next thing we go to Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King fighting for our rights and all these things, right? Our great grandmother and the grandfathers walked with Martin Luther King, right? He was trying to get us out, right? Because Moses' job was to take the children of Israel out of captivity into the promised land. But people fail to realize Moses never took the people into the promised land. Joshua took the people into the promised land. So all the work Moses did to get them out of Egypt into the wilderness, Joshua was the one that took them into the promised land. So we are the Joshuas of today because Martin Luther King, he did a great job. Our ancestors, by praying out, did a great job. Our grandmas and grandfathers did a great job. Our mothers and fathers did a great job, but they did not get us into the promised land because they had lack of knowledge. But right now in this day and time, we have the knowledge to do it. And the Most High said the same way I was with Moses, with Martin Luther King, with Malcolm X, with your mommy and daddy, I'm going to be with you. But I want you to take your family into the promised land. So for me, my job, I'm Joshua, to take my family into the promised land flowing with milk and honey. And that's my plan to do it. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's deep. See. I ain't once again. I ain't never heard nobody break it down like that. But that is really what it is. The people before us, they wasn't privy to the information. They wasn't privy. They didn't have the access to funding, the access to resources like we have today. That's why I always say, I don't care who it is. If you alive today with a healthy, able body, healthy, able mind, I don't want to hear no excuse because I don't think none of them are valid. None. Because we have access to so many things, and I always look at it like. You got people that was in the 50s and the 60s that was making stuff shake. Yeah. We're not a tenth of the access to resources that we have. So they could do something in times where things was really real and stuff was, people was like for really, really, really holding them back, like with a grudge. And you living in 2023.
Ain't no holding back.
Ain't nobody holding you back. And even if somebody is, there's still a way around it.
Exactly.
It's no excuse to begin it. So I firmly believe that, bro. Like we had a time period where you just gotta man up, woman up, and get to it. That's it. Just make it like a simple, make it plain. Yeah, but let me before we wrap up, I want to ask you this, just for the people that's listening and watching. And they love what you're about. They love everything you're saying, but they want to tap into your program. Yeah. Where and how can they do that?
Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram, cjack130. A whole bunch of fake pages gonna start jumping up once you start following me. I see on your profile you got. Bro. I did not DM you.
People will swear you did, bro.
Yeah, man, for real. Like, please don't give them scammers no money, man. Right? But you can find me at cjack130. Also, the February 27th through March 3rd, that's the Stock Option 101 Mastermind. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm digging deep, and I'm teaching you everything you need to know and everything that you will need to be successful. And the thing about when you come through my mastermind, you come through my program, you have unlimited access to everything I teach you. So you have it forever, right? So if you don't mind, we can put the link.
Yeah.
We put the link, so the link in the thing. But but you can find me on cjack130 on Instagram. Follow me. I'm always giving game on YouTube and all that stuff, man.
And the link is going to be in the description of this episode. So y'all want to tap in, y'all want to start, y'all want to go to the, my mind went blank for a second. Y'all want to go to the mastermind?
Yep.
Link in the description notes. Tap in. And this is my final question I got for you.
Okay.
What's the biggest lesson you learned in 2022?
The biggest lesson I learned in 2022. Man, honestly, ask for help. Ask for help. That's the biggest lesson I learned in 2022. Ask for help, man.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Help. Hey, that could change your life. You ask for the right help.
Exactly. Like Country Wayne said, help is on the way.
Help is on the way, man. And I want to say, before we wrap up, bro, I want to say I really appreciate you taking the time to fly out here to hop on the show. Like, this was dope, and there was a lot of value to listeners I know they're going to love and rock with. So, like I said, I just want to say that real quick. I really appreciate that, bro.
And let me give you your flowers, man, because listen, your whole setup and when I watch your content, man, is dope, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got a dope podcast, man, and it's definitely gonna see that in a few years you're gonna be bigger than you ever thought you're gonna be,
Thank
man.
you,
So, man, this is real dope, bro. I appreciate you, man. Salute.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. And exiting it out, for all the people that want to follow me, y'all can follow me at official Xavier Miller on Instagram. Y'all can follow me at Xavier C. Miller on Twitter, TikTok, and everything else. And you can follow the Millionaire Mindsets podcast on everything as well. And that's all we have for y'all on this episode. Make sure y'all type in with Chris on all things. Y'all want to go to the mastermind, type into this trading group, all those things. Link in the description notes. And that's all we got for this episode of Millionaire Mindset. See y'all next week. Peace.
Gotta get your brain right if you're trying to make $1 million. If you ain't gonna do it for yourself, then do it for your mama. Only stay surrounded by them people if you know they solid. Elevate your hustle up today to double up your profit. Trying to learn some game, Xavier gonna talk about it. No Deanna, speak that that everybody vouching. Ain't no more excuses valid. Get up off the couch and get up in your bag. To your bank account, need an accountant.